Hi guys, and welcome to this week's edition on 20 plus Queensland National Parks that you might want to add onto your list for your next holiday. No, there are over 1,000 national parks in Queensland, so the ones I featured today are some of my favourites that I've visited in the last couple of years. Each and every one of them has a particular draw card or something that makes them special. This could be hiking, waterfalls, swimming, unique sights, or amazing colours. Some might require a four-wheel drive to access and others will not, and there are plenty that provide tours if you don't have your own vehicle. However you get there, after watching this video, I can guarantee there'll be a few national parks you'll be adding to your list. So in no particular order, let's get to it. Bribie Island National Park is just a short drive from the Queensland capital of Brisbane. It's one of the few islands you can actually drive to, but you'll need a four-wheel drive to access the national park areas. The national park covers nearly 1/3 of the island, which is full of wildlife, it's uninhabited, and some beach camping spots. It's the fourth largest sand island in the world, coming behind Fraser, Stradbroke Island, and Moreton Island. The most popular pastime in the Bribie Island National Park would be fishing, swimming in the lakes, swimming in the beaches, jet skiing the waters, or driving the four-wheel drive tracks. But the beach camping is one of the hardest places to get into due to its popularity. Lamington National Park is a big favourite to visitors in the area and only a short drive from the Gold Coast. This is just one of the national park in a series included in the Gondwana rainforest and was UNESCO World Heritage listed in 1994. You have over 160 kilometres of hiking trails that allow you to explore the magical bushland, waterfalls and local wildlife. These can range from 1 kilometre to 21 kilometres long, which allows you to choose what's best for your situation and the amount of time. A big favourite would be driving to O'Reilly's Rainforest Retreat and basing yourself from there. You'll have access to the first treetop walk built in Australia with 9 suspension bridges, along with feeding the Rosella birds. The Wellfield National Park is located in outback Queensland, right near the small town of Windora. This is one of your best ways to experience the arid, desolate Australian lifestyle and see those gorgeous, vibrant red colours. It's best to access the park in a four-wheel drive and might be handy for a fly net if it's a really hot day. There are different driving paths to follow when exploring the national park, and we completed the river and the desert drive. The river drive is very short and displays the Barcoo River system and the local wildlife. The desert drive would have to be the most popular, and the highlights would be the bright red dirt lining the roads and in the sandhills. North Stradbroke Island, or Minjerribah, lies off the coast of Brisbane and is a short 40-minute ferry ride from Cleveland. More than 50% of the island is listed as national park, and the Quandamooka people are the original owners. A small community has been built here over the years, and the island has 2,000 people permanently living there. There are lots to do on the island, including finding secluded lakes, swimming at the many beaches, spotting whales and kangaroos from around the Gorge Walk, and absorbing the rich Indigenous history. You can get around the island in your own two-wheel drive, or use the public transport, or hire a scooter for the day. But a four-wheel drive will come in handy for accessing the national park areas. The Carnarvon Gorge National Park is located about 9 hours west of Brisbane and a must-do if you're into hiking. You can explore some of the highlights on a day visit, but better over a few days to a week. Due to the outback temperatures and rainfall, it's best to visit in the wintertime from April to October, as the water level is lower when crossing the creek. You have one main hike, which is over 20 kilometres return, but this increases with the smaller hikes off the main track. It's best to plan out your days and find out what's suitable to see in your length of time and fitness. However, this hike has little elevation and can be completed by a moderate hiker. The amphitheatre has to be one of my favourite highlights, along with the moss garden. But I also love the rock pools, Mickey's Creek, and Warumba Gorge. Fraser Island, or Gari, receives over 300,000 tourists each year, and it's the largest sand island in the world and part of the Great Sandy National Park. It's 1,600 kilometres in size, 123 kilometres in length, and can be accessed by barge from either Harvey Bay or Rainbow Beach. You have two main resorts on the island, which is the Kingfisher Bay Resort on the west side and the Gari Beach Resort on the east side, but most people go over for the beach camping. Accessing any of these on your own will require a four-wheel drive vehicle, although day and overnight tour options leave from Harvey Bay, Rainbow Beach, and even from the capital in Brisbane. There is no shortage of sights to see and things to do, with swimming in the crisp waters of Lake Mackenzie or Eli Creek. Not only that, but you have the SS Mahino shipwreck, the Pinnacles coloured rock formation, and exploring the only rainforest in the world growing in sand at this elevation. Porcupine Gorge National Park is another big highlight to explore in outback Queensland, but located in the northern part of the state near Hughenden. It's known to the locals as Little Grand Canyon and contains hikes, lookout points, and the most amazing pyramid rock formation. This national park is 54 square kilometres in size, but the canyon itself is 25 kilometres long. The sandstone cliffs were eroded away over time by the rushing water, which has also formed the pyramid. You can explore the gorge in two parts, by the lookout point on the south side or by hiking into the riverbed on the northern end. The hike into the gorge will take about an hour return, but it should only be done during the winter season with less water around. The rocky holes in the riverbed collect water and is sometimes great for swimming. Just off the coast of Townsville in North Queensland, you have the beautiful Magnetic Island National Park. Ferries leave from Townsville Marina about 10 times a day and take 30 minutes to get there. It's around 52 square kilometres in size and has about 2,000 permanent residents. You can see most of the highlights on a day trip to the island, but better explored over a few days just to absorb all that the island has to offer. There's a few different beaches to explore, like Alma Bay, Arthur Bay, Radical Bay, or Horseshoe Bay. The east-facing ones are great for a sunrise morning walk and perfect photo location. On the other hand, you can find plenty of snorkeling around, hiking the forts for the views, or seeing the allied rock wallabies, or even scouting for koalas. The Springbrook National Park is located in southeast Queensland and an easy day trip from Brisbane or the Gold Coast. It's over 6,000 hectares in size and part of the UNESCO World Heritage listed Gondwana rainforests. Transport back into the Jurassic Age and explore areas that border on a prehistoric volcano that once spewed lava and basalt across the landscape. This created picturesque structures, waterfalls, and many different trails for beginner walkers and expert hikers. The National Park contains walking trails that range from 300 metres to 54 kilometres and visit beautiful locations like the Natural Bridge and Purlingbrook Falls. These are breathtaking views, lush forests, lots of different wildlife to find, and relaxing rainforest sounds. Best of all is you can access this with a standard two-wheel drive vehicle, but the roads are long and windy. The Cape Hillsborough National Park is located along the coast of Queensland about 40 minutes north of Mackay. This contains off-grid beach camping, caravan parks, and hikes through the bush to viewpoints over the coastline. However, the biggest draw card would be to see the native kangaroos feeding on the beach at sunrise every morning. The high tide brings sea pods and kelp to the Cape Hillsborough beach every day, and this is a delectable feed for the kangaroos, and the early mornings is when they like to rummage around for something to eat. You have to be an early riser for this one, as quickly after the sun rises, the wallabies or kangaroos will retreat into the surrounding bushland. Therefore, it's best to get to the beach at least 30 minutes before the sun is supposed to rise. The Girraween National Park is located in southern Queensland, about 3 hours from Brisbane and 30 minutes from the town of Stanthorpe. It contains the famous Pyramid hiking track, finishing 1,100 metres above sea level with a large balancing rock up the top. The Pyramid track is only 3.6 kilometres return, but it will take you 1.5 to 2 hours to complete. Most of the track is dirt but well formed and easy to walk. The last few hundred metres require scaling the side of a mountain and sometimes crawling with your hands. Once at the top, you're brought to the most unimaginable 360-degree views of the surrounding countryside and the miraculous 10-tonne and 7.5 metre high rock formation balancing on its own. The Conondale National Park is 2 hours north of Brisbane and a big favourite with the locals, especially for Balloomba Creek and the freshwater swimming. Depending on the rainfall at the time, you will more likely need a four-wheel drive to access the rocky creek crossing, which gets higher after a lot of rain. Once you're in, there are two main sections to visit. The first is for bush camping and swimming in a small freshwater creek. The water is refreshing, crystal clear, an amazing oasis away from the big city life. Apart from that, you have a 30-minute one-way hike and a waterfall for swimming at the Balloomba Creek Falls. This is about 10 kilometres away from the camping section, and you can enjoy a natural massage with the water pressure coming down. About 2 hours inland from Rockhampton, you'll come to the Blackdown Tablelands National Park. It's 47,000 square kilometres in size and popular for its rock pool swimming locations. Accessing the park is by four-wheel drive only, but driving is relatively flat with some elevation. One of the more popular hikes is the Rainbow Falls, and a beautiful swimming hole to cool off in. It's about 4 kilometres return to complete, but requires going up and down 240 steps into the gorge. You're surrounded by amazing palms and listening to the different animals. Apart from that, there's an alternate route off this track to other rock pools, which happens to be one of Queensland's most Instagrammable locations. Well, you can't get more remote than Birdsville in outback Queensland, and this time exploring the Mungathiri National Park. The Big Red Sand Dune is the largest sand dune in Australia and a bucket list item. It's the first of 1,100 parallel sand dunes travelling into the Mungathiri National Park, or the Simpson Desert. Challenge the drive up and head further into the park. You'll feel like you're in a whole other world visiting here, and you'll have lots of fun exploring the dunes and local flora. Not to mention being the best spot at sunset. You will need your own four-wheel drive to access the national park, however tours are available from Birdsville just to take you to Big Red if you don't have one. I recommend a fly net too, as the flies can get really bad during the daytime. Green Island is a 15-hectare size island lying off the coast of Cairns in North Queensland. Specifically, a coral cay that has been created by sand and rubble over time. It's been attracting visitors for decades and was named a national park in 1937. Most tourists will visit the island for snorkeling straight off the beach, and an easy choice when you're trying to get a taste of the Great Barrier Reef. But apart from that, you have glass-bottom boat tours, parasailing, walking through the rainforest, or even helicopter rides. Or if you're after a relaxing time, the beach is perfect just to sit back and catch some rays. There is even a resort built on the island for longer stays and a small shopping complex for convenience. Lady Musgrave Island National Park is 96 kilometres off the coast of Bundaberg and 59 kilometres from 1770. This is located in the southern Great Barrier Reef, and their day trip boat tours provide from both towns. Probably your biggest drawcard for anyone wanting to visit Lady Musgrave Island is for some of Queensland's best snorkelling. This is a brilliant chance for you to swim with turtles and experience the vast array of underwater life. Secondly, you just can't go by those beautiful turquoise waters and seeing the island completely made out of coral. As soon as you jump off the boat, you're amazed at the coral bommies and the amazing fish life available. See anything from stingrays, fish, coral and jellyfish. Then you have some reef sharks, sea snakes and marine turtles. Barron Gorge National Park is located about 40 minutes from Cairns and often explored along with Kuranda Village. You can obviously go on a self-drive tour through the park, but one of the best ways to see it would be aboard the Kuranda Scenic Railway. This is a 2-hour journey through the rainforest and stopping off at the ever-popular Barron Falls. Mind you, these falls are best visited in the summertime from December to March for the greatest amount of water. You can spend a few hours up in Kuranda, but the journey back can be booked on the Skyrail gondola. This gives you a very different aspect of seeing the national park by towering over the top of it. The Tully Gorge National Park can be accessed from Tully in North Queensland. It will take you about 30 minutes to 1 hour to drive along the Tully Gorge Road and stop off at the bridge and other lookout points along the gorge. This gorge is actually river rapids, and they hold organised rafting tours on most days. I didn't get a chance to see that happening, but hopefully get to do it the next time I'm around. My favourite part was the Ponytail Falls, which were a huge shock to me and well worth the visit. They are a single drop waterfall dropping into the Tully Gorge Rapids. The turquoise colours and picturesque green scenes were just divine, and just wish I could have swam there, but the rapids are too strong and it's not really safe to do so. Another area in the national park is what they call Alligator's Nest. It's a popular swimming spot in the summertime for its clear waters and easy stair access. The perfect spot to spend the day with family or friends. The Daintree National Park is one of the more famous and oldest national parks in the world. It's easily accessed near Port Douglas and split into 2 parts, requiring a car ferry crossing to get to the other side. The northern side is where you'll find the main section and the Discovery Information Centre. Essentially, there are many different hiking trails where you can see the various plant species and look out for the wildlife, maybe even a cassowary. Alternatively, the Discovery and Information Centre is your starting point for the popular Treetop Canopy Walk, your tours, your cafe, information and a souvenir store. This one can sometimes be less of a hassle on a day tour from Port Douglas, especially if you don't have your own vehicle. Rainbow Beach holds the mainland section to the Great Sandy National Park, alongside Fraser Island. But obviously, this one is easy to get to on your own. It's located about 3 hours north of Brisbane, and there are 2 main sections to get a feel for this beautiful national park. The first is a lovely Puna Lake and swimming in the fresh waters filtered through the white sand. The return hike will take 1.5 hours and certain sections will have you walking uphill. The extra energy you burn is worth it after you reach the lake and jump in. The lake itself has been stained by the surrounding tea trees and a slight brown colour. Apart from that, you have the stunning Carlo Sandblow, which is a 15-hectare sand mass. This is great for sandboarding and often used for hang gliding or parachuting off the coloured sand cliffs. You will need a whole day or at least half a day to explore the Bladensburg National Park. The entrance to the National Park is 20 minutes outside of Winton in outback Queensland and roughly 850 square kilometres in size, so expect a bit of driving once you get there. It holds several different sites to explore like the Shearing Shed, Scrammy Gorge, the Octopus Tree, Skull Hole and Scrammy Lookout. Don't forget to be on the lookout for local bird life like pink cockatoos or galahs. And there are heaps of plants and animal life that you can encounter along the way. The Bunya Mountains are located about 1.5 hours north of Toowoomba, great for hiking and all surrounding the small community of Dandabar. You can design a hike around your schedule and fitness level in the Bunya Mountains, and most of the trails lead into each other. Therefore, you can make a shorter walking trail into a longer one by joining them together. The park can easily be accessed by a two-wheel drive vehicle and well known for containing the rare Bunya pine tree. This is a massive tree, roughly 20 to 50 metres in height, dome-shaped with pine needles. From December to March each year, these trees produce dozens of massive cones filled with nuts. And while weighing up to 10 kilos, they can act like a cannonball when falling to the ground. The Byfield National Park is located about 30 minutes from Yeppoon in central Queensland. It has so many different places to explore, even if you just want to hang out for the day near the beaches or the creeks. It has 12 kilometres of coastline, including 4 beaches and a wonderful creek swimming section. Stony Creek is right beside the day use area and a brilliant stop for a cool, refreshing dip. Alternatively, there are a couple of hikes with a picnic table and bathrooms. Apart from that, Sandy Point is another spot in the National Park if you're looking to be by yourself or hang out at the water's edge for the day. Maybe for some swimming or drop in a line for fishing. I hope you liked today's selection on some of the Queensland National Parks you might like to visit, and thanks very much for watching this far. If you're looking for more ideas around Queensland or detailed videos on some of the stops mentioned in today's video, then please click the playlist here. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you for the next one.